Hey, Rick here, and today I want to talk about communication, and more directly is how women communicate with men. This is a topic that has come up the last few days with clients, and I have been thinking about a way to kind of reframe what it is that happens when men and women communicate. And men have been so accused of not being aware and things like that. But these are just tools that men and women have not been taught in how to relate to each other. You know, everything has been about how men and women are opposites, and which is true to a degree. But for the most part, we all have the same feelings. We all have the same abilities, but we approach it completely different. Women communicate like dolphins. And what I mean by that is, for guys, I'm about to say the F word, which is feelings. Now, both men and women have feelings, contrary to what the popular belief is about men. The way that we process and express those feelings are different. They seem like they're the opposite, but we just have not been taught to identify how similar they are. You know, there's just a blanketed belief about men not having feelings, and that feelings are weak. Now, dolphins, when they're swimming in the ocean, they send out a sound, and that sound goes out and hits things and lets dolphins know where things are, how deep the water is, and so forth. Women emit feelings into a room and into the man she's with to test for the depth of presence right now. How present is her guy being with her right now, with the room? And all of this wants to make sure that everything is okay, like there is safety, that there is awareness of each other, that the guy is being aware of her, or that at least that she can feel where he is. And what happens with guys, because feelings are something you can't see and has been brushed off to like being woo-woo and all this other stuff, which I like most things woo-woo anyway, so it gets pushed to the side. When women emit these feelings, and what comes back is the depth of the people that she is with. And so when a guy is taken by surprise, is usually just not being aware in that moment, because, you know, men are singly focused. So when we begin to focus on one thing, the feeling, the bouncing back from where is he becomes weaker. If you notice, guys, sometimes when you really want to get in that groove and get into a book, get into a movie, that is the moment when she may want your attention the most. In that moment, the energy is flowing from the togetherness to the off to focusing on whatever else that one thing is. Depending on the amount of history that you have with that person, it seems like it just goes cold. It seems like you're leaving because that feeling is not there anymore. The pinging out is not coming back. And so, like when in an argument, the woman then emits a bigger blast. That is like an EMT, electromagnetic pulse, that freezes men. And what we do is all systems go to the brain. All focus goes to the brain to figure out what just happened. What that does to the woman's sonar is completely blanks us out. Like we're going into stealth mode. She even feels less of us because we're up here, like all systems has to figure out what's going on because impending danger is abound. Our presence and attention is no longer in our body. It's all up in the brain. I know that I have felt like cold in my body and just retreated trying to figure out what to do next, what is happening. The good news when this happens, first of all, men to prepare for these things ahead of time. You know what I'm talking about, and there are ways to just know that it's going to happen and not run from it. The running from it makes it even worse. Getting in control of what could happen ahead of time and training your emotional intelligence for it. Realizing that you're not going to die. There's more to gain from it than pulling back from it in that moment. And so snapping out of it, bringing your awareness back down to your body, to your breath, starting with your breath, begins to come back on the radar for women. What makes it worse sometimes is men shutting down completely, almost in a way to make their woman more angry. So just remember, in wrapping up, like I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent a little bit right now, but in communicating with women, remember that it's not going to make sense. You know, making sense of it feels safe to us. That's only really due to the training of our emotional system, our emotional intelligence. Sitting with what's uncomfortable sometimes builds your emotional strength. And that's for men and women. Women tend to not be able to handle a man's emotions. If a man cries or if a man is holding emotions back, like sad emotions or intense emotions, it almost has the same effect for women. If a man relaxes into just being and not the keeping to the stereotype of the archetype of just man on a horse all the time, but embracing all of who we are. I hope this helps. Take care. Peace.